Canadian basketball legend and Vancouver's own Joel Haywood, better known as King Handles, fell in love with street basketball over 2 decades ago as a form of self-expression. He met fellow hoopers with the same flair on the hardwood around the Lower Mainland, and they formed a group called the Notic. They're sharing how they defied all odds in a documentary called Handle with Care. There is a documentary coming out called Handle with Care. Now that's debuting at Vancouver International Film Festival on October 8th, and it documents your streetball crew around Vancouver called the Notic. Now, without giving too much away, how can you tell us how this documentary came about?
Actually, he's one of my really good friends, Ryan Sadu. Actually, I grew up playing basketball with him. And during that time, we used to go to the same basketball camps together at a young age. And so he always kind of followed my career, basketball, and always been super supportive. Even when we started the crew, the Notic, he came to a lot of our games, and he's a huge fan, recorded a lot of games. And he just got into film. And I remember the first thing, actually, I was still like traveling around the world doing a lot of things in China and stuff like that. He's like, look, I want to do a Vice piece on you. So we did a little Vice documentary about my career, basketball, also trying with the D-League team, the Toronto Raptors D-League team that I was trying out for. And so we documented all that. And also he's like, after the documentary and the Vice documentary came out and it did really well, he's like, listen, I actually want to plan on doing a actual Notic documentary. Do you think that would be a great idea? And we spoke about this maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. I'm like, yeah, I'll be down to do it. And so he's the one that actually started it all and planted the seed.
I wanted to touch a little bit on the why you got into streetball, kind of as a form of self-expression. And from what I read, it was kind of just like defying some of the racism that you faced in high school and kind of the conformity that you were bound to with the sport. Is that topic discussed at all in the documentary? And I'm wondering if you believe that it's still present in youth basketball.
Yeah, actually, we actually really touched on a lot of that stuff in the documentary. It was tough. It was really tough, during that time because, so like, especially for myself, like living in the west side of Vancouver, there wasn't much like Black people, so it was really hard for me to kind of, have an identity. Because I'm not seeing my people around. So it was like, okay, like, how do I really, really try to fit in? So I really try to fit in, with the people that were around, that I went to school with, right? And sometimes it's just like, it was tough because it's like stressful. Like, man, like, I just want to be myself, right? So it was tough, but, going through with the street basketball, I just loved playing street basketball, just seeing that because it kind of, I'm actually kind of like that's my culture. Like seeing guys from New York and seeing that type of play, I didn't really see it here, but seeing like Skip to my Lou, all these guys from N1, I was like, man, that's what I want to do. So it was really hard to really fit in because one, nobody really played like that, right? Everybody played like the traditional basketball, and which is great. You want to have your fundamentals, you want to have a good base. But to me, it's like, man, like everybody's kind of playing the same. I kind of want to be different.
Vancouver International Film Festival starts today and runs through October 11th. You can get tickets at VIFF.org. For City News, I'm Sportsnet 650's Lindsey Horsting.